तव कथामृतम् तप्त जीवनम् कविभिरीडितम् कल्मषापहम् श्रवणमङ्गलम् श्रीमदाततम् भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जनाः।
ॐ तव कथामृतं तप्तजीवनं कविभिरीडितं कल्मषापहं श्रवणमङ्गलं श्रीमदाततं भुवि गृह्णन्ति ये भूरिदा जना. We are studying the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna, and in English we are in chapter 31, Advice to Ishan, Saturday, October 11, 1884. In Bengali, page 633, Shashta Parichet. And we read a para or two, and about him we saw last week. Him is a big rich man, and Thakur is telling, do you know what him said? He said to Abraham, God alone is real, all else is illusory. Allah. Allah means they thought that big man is only talking. So Thakur is correcting. Oh no, he said it sincerely. Again he told me he would take me to his house and sing kirtan. He himself would sing kirtan, rich man. But he didn't do it. I understand that he said later on, what will people say if I sing with drums and cymbals? He was afraid that people might think he was crazy. So you understand? A rich man felt a great deal of spiritual current in him, but was afraid of the society because of his rich position. That is a hamper. Had it not been that rich, he could have done. But being rich, though he desired to do so, and that desire was sincere, as Thakur is telling. So here Thakur is pointing out some obstacles to spiritual life. Sometimes richness is an obstacle, but that is not always so. In him's case, Thakur is vouchsafing that he was sincere, and he wanted to sing also in presence of Thakur. That spiritual sanskaras have come up. But he could not follow it because later on he thought, people will think I am crazy. So the social position and expectation of what people will think becomes the obstruction. Now, next topic. Haripada has fallen into the clutches of a woman of the Ghoshpada sect. Ghoshpada sect, the women pick up men and say they are Krishnas and we are Radhas and like that. He can't get rid of her. He said that she takes him on her lap and feeds him. So she says she feels motherly love for Haripada. She claimed that she looks on him as baby Krishna. I warned him a great many times. She says that she thinks of him as a child, but this maternal affection soon degenerates into something dangerous because the female nature will come up, that sex attraction will come up between man and woman. She may be now feeling motherly. But if the physical contact is done, then that taking him on the lap and all that, then the sex instinct may arise. You say you should keep far away from woman, then you may realize God. So if this sex relation, man-woman relation is allowed to come, you will not be able to realize God today. It is extremely harmful to have much to do with women who have bad motives or to eat food from their hands. They rob a man of his spirituality. Only by being extremely careful about women can one preserve one's love of God. So, careful. One day, Bhavanath, Rakhar and some other youngsters had cooked their own meal in the temple garden. They were sitting at their meal when a baul arrived, sat down with them. Baul are wandering mendicants, supposed to be great devotees. He mentions the baul here because bauls live with women, but they say they do not enjoy. Sat down with them and said he wanted to eat with them. I said that there was not enough food. If anything was left, it should be kept for him. He became angry and left. Thakur did not care for that. On the Vijaya day, a man allows anyone and everyone to feed him with his own hand. It is not good. So Vijaya in Bengal, they embrace also each other. The high and low are not considered. So that is telling that this type of physical contact influences the sanskaras. So that is not good, Thakur is telling. Though it is a custom. जैसे मुझे करिए I am also not clear whether man and woman also mix freely that day. Jese means anybody. Because we always lived in ashramas in Bengal, we have not seen this. But one can eat food from the hand of a devotee who is pure in heart. So it may be only men, but indiscreetly, food touched by others, that is the thing. Food touched by impure people will harm spiritually. So that is not good. If he is a devotee and pure, then you can eat. You must be extremely careful about women. Women speak of the attitude of Gopala. Pay no attention to such things. That they are taking you to be Krishna, but don't take like this. The proverb says a woman devours the three worlds of men. Many women, when they see handsome and healthy young men, lay snares for them. That is what they call the attitude of God. So Thakur says it is only the hidden agenda. Don't fall a prey for that. Those who develop dispassion from early youth, those who roam about yearning for God from boyhood, those who refuse all worldly life belong to a different class. They belong to an unsullied aristocracy. In spiritual life aristocracy. If they develop true renunciation, they keep themselves at least 50 cubits away from woman, lest their spiritual mood should be destroyed. Once falling into the clutches of woman, they no longer remain on the level of unsullied aristocracy. They fall from it and come to a lower level. They say that gospel is for householders, but and Thakur, of course, is talking to Narayan. Here the main target is Narayan, though Mukherjees are there. People who practice renunciation from early youth belong to a very high level. Their ideal is very pure. They are stainless. How can a man conquer passion? He should assume the attitude of a woman. There is another way. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has taught us. So, if a man takes up the attitude of a woman, then his attraction for woman will vanish. That is the idea. If it is sincere. So, this is an important thing. I spent many days as the handmaid of God. I had dressed myself in woman's clothes, put on ornaments, and covered the upper part of my body with a scarf, just like a woman. So Thakur did anything, he did it 10%. With this scarf on, I used to perform the evening worship before the image. Otherwise, how could I have kept my wife with me for 8 months? So he is telling that he himself became a woman, and that is how he could keep his wife for 8 months. So the man-woman relationship is not allowed. If you are same gender with woman, then it will not harm you, if you can sincerely do that. Both of us behaved as if we were handmaids of the Divine Mother. So Holy Mother fully partook in that drama. I cannot speak of myself as a man. One day I was in an ecstatic mood. My wife asked me, "How do you regard me?" As the blissful mother, I said. So both of them were handmaids of the blissful mother or identical with the blissful mother. Do you know the significance of the Shiva emblem? Shiva Lingam. It is the worship of the symbols of fatherhood and motherhood. Shiv Pujar Bhav Pujano. Shiva emblem is not mentioned here. Shiv Linger Puja there. Matru Sthaner Pitru Sthaner Puja. You know, some people conceive of that image as Yoni Chinna and male Chinna. But the fun is that the male organ is not entering the Yoni, it is as if coming out of that Yoni. That is the Chinna. Mind you, this is in North India. And I have given you one day my own perception of that. And I am saying North India because when I was in the Tamil Nadu for 10 years, I wanted to tell this to the boys there, that that thing is not correct. And they were surprised, they never thought of that thing. So this is not current in South India. And they praise. Tat pranamami sada shivalingam lingastotra. So linga means chinna. But somehow in North India this has gone. But there also Thakur says it is the inverted figure. So the meaning is totally different. Do you know the significance of the Shiva emblem? It is worship of the symbols of fatherhood and motherhood. The devotee worshipping the image prays, "Oh Lord, please grant that I may not be born into this world again, that I may not have to pass again through a mother's womb." That is the symbol. A tutor of the Tagores entered the room with some boys of the family. Sri Ramakrishna continued talking. Tagore, aristocratic family, master to the devotees. Sri Krishna has a peacock feather on his crest. The feather bears the sign of the female sex. The significance of this is that Krishna carries Prakriti, the female principle, on his head. So, beautiful spiritual interpretations of every symbol is being done. When Krishna joined the circle of the gopis to dance with them, he appeared there as a woman. This another wonderful idea. He did not dance as man to woman. That is why you see him wearing a woman's apparel in the company of the gopis. Unless a man assumes the nature of a woman, he is not entitled to her company. So, a very wonderful idea is being given here. Assuming the attitude of a woman, he can sport with her and enjoy her company. Aha. But a man must be extremely careful during the early stages of spiritual discipline. Then he must live far away from any woman. He must not go too close to one, even if she is a great devotee of God. You see, a man must not sway his body while climbing to the roof. He may fall. So in the beginning stages, he has to be careful. For that, he has given this simile. Weak people should hold on to a support while going up the stairs. Beautiful simile. But it is quite different when one reaches perfection. That is the constant thing. Once you have the perfection, then you can mix and do and whatever you like. After the realization of God, there is not much for a man to fear. He has become to a great extent secure. To a great extent, the important thing is for a man somehow to climb to the roof. After that, he can even dance there, but he cannot dance on the steps. Again, after climbing to the roof, you need no longer discard what you discarded before. You find the stairs are made of the same material as brick, lime and brick dust as the roof. So, till you reach the roof, be very careful. When you reach the roof, then you will find that same God who is beyond is appeared as the whole world. Then you are not seeing man or woman. They are saying, you are seeing God everywhere. The woman you have to be so careful about at the beginning will appear to you after the realization of God as the Divine Mother herself. Then you will worship her as the Divine Mother. You won't fear her so much. So, this is the beautiful. It's not hating woman, is not teaching hating woman to be aware, realize God, and then you sport with her without the feeling of difference. The thing is to touch the granny, as children do in the game of hide and seek. Then you can do whatever you like. The hide and seek game is there, a different variety than we know. There is an old woman, and she is made to sit, and the boys hide and seek each other. But those who are hidden, if they, before being caught by the chaser, if they can touch the granny, then for them the play is over. Now, even if they are touched, it does not matter. Man looking outward sees the grass at the time his mind dwells in the Annamaya Kosha, the gross body. So that is how he begins. Next is the subtle body. Functioning through the subtle body, the mind dwells in the Manomaya Kosha and the Vijnanamaya Kosha. This is Taittiriya Upanishad teaching. First man feels I am the body. So he is called the Annamaya Atma. Then we understand that the Atman is inside and this is only a sheath. So it becomes a kosha. Inside that there is Manomaya and Vijnanamaya. Mind as the kosh and I consciousness as the kosh. He is left over Pranamaya because Pranamaya is along with Annamaya. Next is the causal body. Functioning through the causal body, the mind enjoys bliss. It dwells in the Anandamaya kosha. Anandamaya. Oh, I love to tell her. My class is going on now. This corresponds to the semi-conscious state experienced by Chaitanya, semi-outside consciousness. Last of all, the mind loses itself in the great cause, so that Anandamaya also is a kosha. The end of it is the great cause. Great cause, Nakaran, it disappears, that mind. It merges in the great cause. What one that is Nirvikal Samadhi. What one experiences after that cannot be described in words. In his inmost state of consciousness, Chaitanya enjoyed this experience. Do you know what this state is like? Dayananda described it by saying, come into the inner apartments and shut the door. Anyone and everyone cannot enter that part of the house. So Dayananda knows about it. Or you only describe. Okay. I used to meditate on the flame of a light. I thought of the red part as grass, the white part inside the red as settle, and the stick-like black part, which is the inmost of all, as the causal. So, that is another meditation. By certain signs you can tell when meditation is being rightly practiced. One of them is that a bird will sit on your head, thinking you are an inner thing. So, that is Samadhi Avastha, when you are not conscious of your body. I first met Keshav at a meeting of the Adi Samaj. Several members of the Samaj were sitting on the platform. Keshav was in the middle. I saw him motionless as a log. Pointing to Keshava, I said to Mathura Babu, look there, that bait has been swallowed by a fish. Because of that power of meditation, he achieved what he wanted, name, fame, and so forth, through the grace of God. So, he wanted to attain name, fame, and all that, and through meditation, he got that. One can meditate even with eyes open. One can meditate even while talking. Take the case of a man with toothache. So, when the concentration has deepened, you can have eyes open, you can have talking outside, but inside your mind will be attached to God. This is for an advanced man, very advanced man. Take the case of a man with toothache, that he goes on doing everything, but the attention is on the tooth which is aching. Now, this is a common experience. So, tutor of the Tagore, yes, sir, I know that very well. All laugh because of that experience. Master smiling. Yes, even when his teeth ache, he does all his duties, but his mind is on the pain. Likewise, one can meditate with eyes open and while talking to others as well. If that practice is there. Tutor. One of the epithets of God is the Redeemer of the sinner. That is our hope. God is compassionate. Now, on this point of compassion, Thakur has to tell something. Master, the Sikhs said that God was compassionate. I asked, how is he compassionate? Why they answered, he has begotten us, he has created so many things for us, he has brought us up to be men, and he protects us from danger at every step. Thereupon I said, after begetting us, God looks after us and feeds us. Is there much credit in that? Suppose a son is born to you, do you expect a man from another part of the city to bring him up? So God is our own if he has given birth to us. That is the proper consciousness. Tutor, revered sir, one man quickly succeeds in spiritual life, another doesn't succeed at all. How do you explain that? If God is looking after Master, the truth is that a man succeeds to a great extent because of tendencies inherited from his previous birth. So effort is the same. If he has done a lot in the previous birth, then there is a less effort in this birth. So the spiritual gain is never lost. That is the lesson. People think he has attained the goal all of a sudden. A man drank a glass of wine in the morning. It made him completely drunk. He began to behave improperly. People were amazed to see that he could be so drunk after one glass. But another man said, why? He has been drinking all night. So, example. Hanuman burned down the golden city of Lanka. People were amazed that a mere monkey could burn the whole city. But then they said, the truth is that the city was burned by the size of Sita and the wrath of Rama. So already accumulated something is there, that is what he points out through. So, look at Lala Babu. So, let us understand the story of Lala Babu. Now, Lala Babu was a rich man, and some neighbor had 16 wives, and he was leaving them one by one. And Lala Babu's wife told him, see that man's renunciation. Lala Babu said, it is not done like that. And the wife said, but he is better than you. Lala Babu said, no, you will see how high renounce. And with the towel which was on his shoulders, he walked out. How was that possible? Because in his previous life, he has accumulated the sanskar of renunciation. That is what Thakur wants to point out here. He had so much wealth. Could he have renounced it all of a sudden without the good tendencies of his previous births? And Rani Bhavani, so much knowledge and devotion in a woman. So that is also because of the previous births. In his last birth, a man is endowed with sattva. His mind is directed to God. He longs for God. He withdraws his mind from worldly things. That means accumulation of spirituality. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti sa mahatma sudurlabha. So every life he goes on accumulating the spiritual tendencies and it culminates into realization. That becomes his last birth. Krishnadas Pal came here. I found him full of rajas, but it must be said that he observed the Hindu customs. We'll have to find out about Krishnadas Pal. Krishnadas Pal, Hindu Patriot Patrika Sampadak. He was a editor, he was an orator, and he was a politician. And he had visited Thakur at Dakshineshwar. So Thakur is talking about him. That he observed the Hindu customs. He left his shoes outside before entering the room. After a little conversation, I discovered that he had no stuff inside. I asked him about man's duty. He said, to do good to the world. I said, my dear sir, who are you? What good will you do to the world? Is the world such a small thing that you think you can help it? Very important point. We serve man, not do good to them. Narayan arrived. So he was talking about Narayan, and now Narayan is arrived. Narayan entered the room and sat on the floor. And then what happened? Oh, Narayan had gone away. Huh? Okay. Narayan and arrived. Sri Ramakrishna was very happy to see him. He seated Narayan by his side on the small coach. That was Thakur's method. When the small boys came, he used to love him and make him his own, not allow him to feel different. So he takes him in on his own cot. He showed him his love by stroking his body and giving him sweets to eat. Then he asked Narayan suddenly, "Will you have some water?" Narayan was a student at M school. Then he asked Narayan tenderly, "Will you have some water?" after eating those sweets. At home, Narayan with an affectionate, at home, his people begged him for visiting Sri Ramakrishna. That has come here. The master said to Narayan with an affectionate smile, "You had better get a leather jacket, then the beating won't hurt." Turning to Harish, the master said that he would like to have a smoke. Again, addressing Narayan, Sri Ramakrishna said, "The woman who has established an artificial relationship of mother and son with Haripada came here the other day. I warned Haripada very often. She belongs to the Vojpada sect. I asked her if she had found her man. She said yes and mentioned a man's name." So that is a, Thakur said, a sweeper's entry to the house. And to Narayan is talking of Haripada, last time also he saw. Nilkant came here the other day. What spiritual fervor he has. He said he would come here another day and sing for us. They are dancing over there. Why don't you go and see it? Outside his room. To Ramlal, there is no oil in the room. Looking at the oil jar, the servant hasn't filled it. So some routine talk in between. Sri Ramakrishna was walking up and down, now in his room, now on the south veranda, occasionally pausing on the semicircular porch west of his room. He would look at the Ganges. After a while, he returned to his room and sat on the small couch. It was past 3 in the afternoon. The devotees took their seats on the floor. The master sat in silence before them, now and then casting a glance on the walls where many pictures were hanging. To Sri Ramakrishna's left was a picture of Saraswati, goddess of learning, and beyond it a picture of Gaur and Nitai, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda, singing kirtan with their devotees. In front of the master hung pictures of Dhruva, Prahlada, the great devotees were known about them, and Mother Kali. On the wall to his right was another picture of the Divine Mother, Raja Rajeshwari. Behind him was a picture of Jesus Christ raising the drowning Peter. It is a very symbolic picture. Suddenly, Sri Ramakrishna turned to him and said, "You see, it is good to keep pictures of sannyasis and holy men in one's room. When you get up in the morning, you should see the faces of holy persons rather than the faces of other men. People with Rajasic qualities keep English pictures on their walls. Pictures of rich men, the king, the queen, the Prince of Wales, and white men and women walking together. That shows their Rajasic temperament. You acquire the nature of the people whose company you keep. Therefore, even pictures may prove harmful. Again, a man sees the company that agrees with his own nature. The Paramahamsas keep near them a few young boys, 5 or 6 years old. They allow such boys to be near them. Attaining the state of Paramahamsa, a man loves the company of boys. Like the Paramahamsas, the boys are not under the control of the Gunas, Sattva, Rajas, and Tamas. I have heard this several times. By looking at trees, a man awakens in his heart the picture of a hermitage in which a rishi is practicing austerity. So, we should keep such pictures which give rise to those sentiments in us. A Brahmin from Siti entered the room and saluted Sri Ramakrishna. He had studied Vedanta in Banaras. He was stout and had a smiling face. Is that Ramakrishna? Master, hello, how are you? You haven't been here a long time. Pandit, smiling. Only duties, sir. You know I am a very little villager. The Pandit sat down and the master began to talk with him. Master, you spent a long time in Banaras. Tell us what you saw there. Tell us something about Dayananda, the founder of Arya Samaj. Pandit, yes, I met him. You also met him, didn't you? Master, yes, I visited him. He was living then in a garden house on the other side of the Ganges. Keshav was expected there that day. He longed for Keshav as the Chatak bird longs for him. Rain. He was a great scholar and made fun of the Bengali language. He admitted the existence of the deities, but Keshav did not, because Nirakar was. Then they used to say, God has created so many things. Couldn't he have created the deities? Dayananda believed the ultimate reality to be without form. Captain was repeating the name of Rama. Dayananda said to him sarcastically, better repeat Sandesh, Sandesh. Sarcastically, because he did not believe in the forms of God. Pandit. In Banaras, the Pandits had great discussion with Dayananda. Finally, he was left alone with all the others against him. They made it so hot for him that he thought the only way to save himself was by running away. All the Pandits shouted with one voice, whatever Dayananda said is to be despised. Because he was standing against the common belief in gods and goddesses. I saw Colonel Alcott too. He is one of the founders of Theosophy. The Theosophists believe in the existence of Mahatmas. They also speak of the lunar, solar, stellar and other planets. They believe in many subtle things, but not God. A Theosophist can go in his astral body to all these places. Oh, Alcott said many such things. Well, sir, what do you think of Theosophy? This is the Pandit is asking. Master, the one essential thing is bhakti, loving devotion to God. Do the Theosophists seek bhakti? They are good if they do. If Theosophy makes the relation of God the goal of life, then it is good. Two things always, relation of God or bhakti, which will make him realize. If Theosophy makes the relation of one cannot seek God if one constantly busies oneself with Mahatmas and the lunar, solar and spiritual. So, subtle world is different from God, and when one deals too much in this subtle world, he cannot reach God. The term for such people in English, spiritualism and spirituality. Spirituality refers to the spirit, and spiritualism refers to the subtle sphere. A man should practice sadhana and pray to God with a longing heart for love of his lotus feet. He should direct his mind to God alone, withdrawing it from various objects of the world, including the theosophical set objects. The master sang, how are you trying, O my mind, to know the nature of God? You are groping like a madman, locked in a dark room, his grasp through ecstatic love. How can I fathom him without it? And for that love, the mighty yogis practice yoga from age to age. When love awakes, the Lord like a magnet draws to him the soul. It's a beautiful song emphasizing the love of God which creates the attraction. Continuing, the master said, you may speak of the scriptures of philosophy, of Vedanta, but you will not find God in any of these. You will never succeed in realizing God unless your soul becomes restless for Him. So love for God, he stresses again and again. Only through affirmation, never negation, can one know Him. Neither through Vedas nor through Tantra, nor the Sikh Darshana, it is in love's elixir only that he delights. So mind, he dwells in the body's inmost depths in everlasting joy. One must be. Now, remember, I told you one day that Mahapurushma has told my Guruji, Upanishads are the best Bhakti Shastras in the world. Can everyone have the vision of Radha? Can everyone taste her love? This, one must be very earnest about God. Listen to another song. Then the rarest treasure of all, no earthly wealth can buy. Without devotions and sadhana, none can ever obtain it. The raindrop falling upon the deep when Swati shines on high, that is a belief in India. When the Swati is a cluster of stars, when it is on the zenith, and if at that time the nectar gets a drop of water, it dives deep in the ocean and makes a pearl out of that. The raindrop falling upon the deep when Shakti shines on high is formed within the oyster shell into a priceless pearl. Can such a pearl be formed from rain that falls at other times? So, bhakti or sadhana is emphasized. Mothers with their babes in arms may beckon to the moon to leave the sky and come to them, but only the babes are fooled. Does the moon ever leave the sky and dwell upon the earth? So, you cannot be fooled. God, only love for Him will work for you, not rituals, not the subtle aspects. One must practice intense spiritual discipline. Can one obtain the vision of God all of a sudden without any preparation? A man asked me, why don't I see God? I said to him as the idea came to my mind, you want to catch a big fish. First make arrangement for it, throw spiced bait into the water, angling. Get a line and a rod. At the smell of the bait, the fish will come from the deep water. By the movement of the water, you will know that a big fish has come. You want to eat butter. But what will you achieve by simply repeating that there is butter in milk? You have to work hard for it. Only thus can you separate butter from milk. Can one see God by merely repeating God exists? One needs sadhana. The Divine Mother herself practiced austere sadhana to set up an example for mankind. Sri Krishna, who is none other than the ultimate Brahman, also practiced sadhana to set an example to others. She is emphasizing sadhana in the name of God. Sri Krishna is the Purusha and Radha the Prakriti, the Chit Shakti, the Adya Shakti, the I feel like stopping here. We take up this tomorrow. Still time is there, but so many topics we have covered. Let us stop here. Let us take it up tomorrow. Om Tava Kathāmritam Tapta Jivanam Kavivileditam Kalmashapaham Shravanamangalam Shrimadaatatam Bhuri Grunanti Bhuri Dajana Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat Sri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.
Om